There have been great fighters who fought in the UFC who should have been re-signed with better contracts, but they were offered better contracts with rival promotions, which forced them to leave the UFC. So here is 5 fighters the UFC should have re-signed with better contracts. Number 5. Mcdonald is a former UFC bantamweight fighter who had put together a record of 6 wins and 3 losses in the promotion. He had great success in the promotion, where he had notable victories over Miguel Torres and Brad Pickett. After losing to John Lineker at UFC Fight 91, Mcdonald resigned from the UFC, mentioning that they had dealt with him dishonestly and disrespectfully, where just a week later he signed with Bellator MMA. I feel the UFC should have treated him with more respect and had offered him a better contract, as he was one of the best bantamweights on the planet. It is a massive shame that they let a highly talented fighter in Mcdonald go to their rival promotion. I believe he will do big things in Bellator MMA, where he will definitely become a world champion in the promotion. Number 4. Mitrione is a former UFC heavyweight fighter who had put together a record of 9 wins and 5 losses in the promotion. After losing to Travis Brown at UFC Fight 81, he decided not to renew his contract with the UFC and took a better offer with Bellator MMA. Mitrione is one of the heaviest hitters in the heavyweight division and is definitely an exciting fighter to see. I feel the UFC should have offered him a better contract and tried their best to keep him, as there could have been some great matchups for him in the UFC. Since joining Bellator MMA, he has put together 3 finishes, including a victory over MMA legend Fedor Emelianenko. Number 3. Ryan Bader is a former UFC light heavyweight fighter who had put together a record of 15 wins and 5 losses in the promotion. After putting together 2 violent finishes over Ilia Latifi and Antonio Rogério Nogueira, he decided not to renew his contract with the UFC and took a better offer with Bellator MMA. With the UFC light heavyweight division looking very thin in contenders at the moment, a fighter like Ryan Bader could have easily hung with the best fighters in the division, where he would have likely fought for the title sooner or later. I feel the UFC should have held on to Ryan Bader, as he is one of the best light heavyweights in the world. In his Bellator debut, he defeated Phil Davis by a split decision to become the new Bellator light heavyweight champion of the world. Number 2. Rory Macdonald is a former UFC welterweight fighter who had put together a record of 9 wins and 4 losses in the promotion. After losing to Stephen Thompson at UFC Fight 89, he decided not to renew his contract with the UFC and took a better offer with Bellator MMA. Rory Macdonald is easily a top 5 welterweight fighter on the planet who has the potential to beat any fighter on any given day. Rory Macdonald is one of the best tacticians in the sport, where he has notable victories over Tarek Saffiedine, Damien Maia and the current UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley. I feel the UFC should have tried their best to keep Rory Macdonald with the promotion, as he has proved he is one of the best welterweights in the world. In his Bellator debut, he defeated Paul Daly by a rear naked choke in the 2nd round at Bellator 179. Number 1. Gegard Mousasi is a former UFC middleweight fighter who had put together a record of 9 wins and 3 losses in the promotion. After defeating the former UFC middleweight champion Chris Weidman by TKO at UFC 210, he decided not to renew his contract with the UFC and took a better offer with Bellator MMA. Gegard Mousasi had hung with the best fighters in the UFC, where he was on a 5-fight winning streak and was just a win away from a title shot, but switched to Bellator MMA due to a better contract. He has a wealth of experience in both professional kickboxing and MMA, where I believe it was just a matter of time that he would become a UFC world champion. I believe the UFC made a massive mistake in not offering him a better contract, as he is easily a top 5 middleweight on the planet. At the age of 31, he is in his prime, where I believe he will definitely become the Bellator middleweight champion sooner or later.